Everyone, I'm Anthony. I'm a brand new dungeon amateur master in training. I'm doing my best to make this campaign as much fun as it could possibly be for this party. For those of you joining me for the first time, hi, welcome, thank you. Hit the subscribe button maybe, and you can watch me fumble through this whole like dungeon master situation as I'm learning the ins and outs and like failing along the way. Sometimes I think I'm doing okay so far. But this session, I'm going to tell you, I'm a little nervous about, honestly. More nervous than I was for the first session. The first session, I felt extremely prepared. I was like very like over prepared to the extent where I was like, I don't even know how far they could possibly make it. I have done so much like planning. I don't like I was nervous, but I was like I am prepared for almost every possible outcome, right? Like whatever they do, I got this, Like that's what I was thinking. This session, I'm like, okay, they did the main dungeon thing. They played through like the training campaign, like the first level of like learning how to move and jump and play, and do the powers that your characters can do. I'm treating this like a video game as like, that's at least I did for the first session. I was like, well, they have to learn how to kind of use their legs, like learn how to walk before they can run sort of thing. Now the groundwork has been laid for this world. They know what the setting is. They know what their characters are up to and what they could potentially achieve through this campaign. But now we've like crossed through to this new threshold where it opens up the sandbox a lot. And this is where I'm basically throwing the reins at the players with some like cautious limitations to an extent. Obviously they're free to do whatever they want to try to do, but yeah, I do have story in place. There are, things that are happening in the world around them that they will, encounter over time that will affect them and such. But they are at this point welcome to essentially explore and do whatever they want. For those of you who don't know, they're in a setting in which there are these four towns. Each previously had been guarded by something called the Order of Lumia. The Order was super effective and wonderful and created like a balance in these four cities, creating something of like a utopia. This was thrown into disarray by this kind of manipulative drow character who was, doing something for their respective god and trying to like sow chaos into the world, and in doing so, sort of, like created chaos in the lives of these players in this party. So this party has sort of personal ties to these respective cities and the chaos that's ensuing within. They don't know exactly what that means yet, or exactly how to stop any of it, or what's going on. So for this session, the party's going to be where they were in the last session. It's not, I'm not doing any time jumps. It's literally going to be they just exited this vault. They enter this, the mansion that they had previously been in through this like magical portal, and they're going to sort of be met with the head of the house again, whose name is Lady Celine, and she's going to ask them like what the hell happened, and they're going to learn that some things happened behind the scenes, or at least while off screen that they didn't see. So they're going to tell Lady Celine about this everything that happened with this drow and how it previously had this visage of a kobold and it was pretending to be these different people, and they don't know exactly what it's up to because my party unfortunately didn't ask a lot of questions or try to figure anything out. They fought for a little bit, and once it seemed as if the villain died or left, they just kind of were like taken by the treasure that was surrounding them, and the villain got away. The big bad essentially escaped without giving them as much information as they could have gotten, of course. But that's fun. That's fun. That's a lot of it's exciting for me because now it's like it'll be more of a slow burn for them to uncover some of these truths and some of these narrative like little things that I've been piecing together. So as they're talking to Lady Celine, a halfling child is going to run in, just kind of like out of breath and telling them that there's some sort of like terrible situation happening in the city to the north, and that their father sent or yeah, their father sent them to come and get help from the order because like where have you been? Why hasn't the order been helping and all this stuff? And there are monsters. So what they're going to face if they make it to the city of the to the north, is they're going to see like a destitute city, just a barren city, a wasteland in which there's just nothing. It's quiet and just dead. There's a stillness with the exception of a loud thumping noise coming from the distance where there's a large church. And what they're going to learn is that there are two beholders that are guarding this city. Suddenly, they're patrolling, sort of. And so, of course, it's going to be terrifying for this party because it's a young party. They are not ready to face any sort of beholder. Now, you might be thinking, like, beholder, that's crazy. Like, they're going to die immediately. But here's the thing, they're not real beholders. What they are mechanical beholders that were created by this scientist who is currently in the church, who has taken over this city. He's trying to rid the world of a magic, or at the very least, show the world that his science and abilities and intellect are superior to the magics and the chaos and the laziness that has taken over society at the time, or whatever, you know. So what he's done is he's been manipulated by this drow and basically told that he can use humans as an energy source to facilitate his scientific experiments and open this portal. So he's in the church with the entirety of the city using their bodies physically to create this energy source to open this portal, and he's in the middle of working on it. The party is going to learn this because there are going to be NPCs who are hiding in the buildings who have yet to be, discovered by these patrolling beholders that are around the city. So they're going to talk to various people as they're like sneaking around the city and learn about this like gnome scientist, tinkerer who is trying to overtake everything. This is supposed to be sort of like a next level. I don't want them just fighting like kobolds and goblins and stuff anymore. This is, however, it's not going to be as devastating of a battle as they could potentially face. It's more about navigating the story and finding a way to to right the wrong of this particular city and get in the good graces of the people again. So once they do that, the people will see that the Order of Lumia is back, and they will have be held in high regard, and they're going to basically understand that there are three other cities in which terrible, chaotic things have been occurring because of this drow. They're going to hopefully want to right those wrongs while seeking this drow, right? I'm not sure how far they're going to get. I imagine they're going to get at least to the city today. I'm hoping they do the whole thing. I don't know. We're going to play for like 4 to 5 hours. I'm going to let them do whatever they want. I'm going to try to not like railroad them at all. I'm just going to let it happen. But if they choose to not go where the little boy is telling them that the danger is and where his father, is trapped in all of this, I'm gonna have to exercise my improv muscles. This time, I've gotten to the point where I'm a little insecure about like doing voices now, or like not voices in general, but I'm like, oh man, I have to like expand my voice game, 'cause, like I've been doing okay. I like doing voices generally, but I'm not great at accents. But I think that might make it funnier. So I'm gonna try do a couple. I think I'm gonna go for like an Irish accent for one of the characters. I'm not sure about this gnome tinkerer yet, but I do. So the way I've prepared this is here. So the way I've prepared this is Quest of the First. So I've talked about Nethermere. Initially, it was going to be a band of wizards. I got rid of that because I actually I came up with this fun character, this gnome tinkerer who despises magic despite being essentially a magical creature. So I just like him. I like his like weird, and I like the fact that we don't have to go into his whole philosophy. He's not right about it, and that's what makes a villain fun. I think is like they think they're doing a good thing. He's doing a bad thing, and he's not great. However, he's not deliberately like killing people. I'm gonna say that he's not like Vlad the Impaler. Like he's not skinning people alive or anything crazy. He is, however, enslaving people to further the use of their energy. So I have this. I wrote, how's the town responding? What will the heroes face when they get to the town? And then I wrote things that I'm going to need. And then I wrote those things down here. So I wrote like session 3. This is what I'm thinking the beginning is going to be like. And it's going to start with like the call to adventure with the child coming in, just like I said. And then I wrote what they're going to see in Northermere, and I began to write the various locations that I assume that, or like I'm hoping they go to, and then like the NPCs that are within. So I have the tavern, and then I have the blacksmith, and then I have like the church, and those are the three like main like primary locations that I have. if they ask about other locations, I will improvise, and I because I think it's reasonable to assume like yeah, there are other people hidden within the town who probably have access to various things. So if they don't get the information from, one NPC in one location, maybe they'll look in another one location. But I do have certain things hidden. For instance, in the tavern, there are going to be three NPCs, one of which is going to be the high priest from the church that's been taken over by Sprickle, this gnome. And this high priest is going to have obviously all of the information they need about the church itself, and like obviously that you could fill in some of the backstory and stuff. But what the priest also has is a key to the back door if they're smart enough to talk to him about it and figure it out. It's not necessary. They can use stealth, they can get in, they can barge through the door, they can try to kick the front door down and just like go fight this gnome. I'm not concerned about that. It's just I like giving them the opportunity to do that. The other NPCs also have like various skills that could be useful or helpful, like some of them at least. And really anything's possible depending on what the party is interested in attempting. So we'll see. Like if they try to convince any of these characters to like rise up and fight this gnome or go and distract the beholder, or I don't know how they're going to fight these beholders. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to describe the beholders to them yet. I think I'm going to start by simply describing a beholder, but then depending on their roles, I'll let them know that it's like there are things that are suggesting that they're mechanisms of sorts. And I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have something like a little like goblins inside of it or something like something. What do you think of that? That would be fun. Like what if something was like what if like things were inside controlling them like they were like vehicles that look like beholders. So it wasn't as terrifying as they thought, but maybe they do have some weaponry in them. I still have a few hours before we go and play for the session, but I don't know. I'm still like piecing things together. Some of it's going to come together and like I think it'll be fun. Our previous campaign, I ended up improvising a lot of the battle encounters in a way that I wasn't prepared for. I was like I didn't know that was going to happen. I was like, oh, these are just going to be like spider creatures, and it turned out I created these like I don't know these completely other things, and it was like this is fun. I like this a lot. So I really like creating the bones of a structure and allowing the improv to like kind of put the meat on it, and like let the party kind of like shape it up and figure out what the heck the form of this session is going to be. So I don't know how it's going to go. But I'll let you know after after we're finished how everything went. If people, I'll tell you how far we get. But you let me know what you think of that basic idea. How do you prepare for these sort of campaigns? Like what happens after the initial campaign? Is there like do you use like a call to adventure? The party knows that there are these cities that each have issues and like things that are happening, and they need to essentially be righted. They need to be like saved. But I needed them to have like a motivation to go to a particular city so they didn't get stuck in that like analysis paralysis situation where like too many bad things. And I didn't really want them like kind of like dipping their toes in each city to see like which one is like I don't know, the best. So let me know how you deal with these sort of things. Let me know if you use like a call to adventure. Like I feel like obviously we can't do that every time, and they're going to be probably a little tethers that suggest where they should go along the way. Maybe someone will get captured in front of them, and they're like, I don't know, well, obviously we have to, find that person. So let me know like how you start these sort of mini campaigns, or how often do you use like an NPC who has something that they need, and so the party is motivated to go that way, whatever. What sort of MacGuffins do you use? What sort of motivations do you use to get your party to go in specific ways, or do you literally just go, what do you want to do? We'll figure this out. Do you want to go swimming? And then like, did they just like bake potatoes? Like how do your campaigns work? How do people do this? I think I'm on the right track, and I'm hoping this goes well. I'll let you all know. You let me know what you think below, and hopefully it all works out, but I will let you know after the session. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing to this channel and, helping me when I have these questions. Thank you for giving me tips and help and support and showing me like giving me good ideas. Also, I always need like fun magical items or like rewards to give the party that won't break the game, because how do you do that without making it repetitive? Because I don't want to just be like, you get you found another hammer with +1 or whatever, it's like now you're like +3 or whatever. Like, so what do you do to keep that interesting? Will you guys please help me with that? Because like that's something I'm like, obviously you don't always have to give them rewards for everything they're doing, and like the quest itself is the game is the reward itself, but you want the characters or you want you want the characters to also feel like they're being rewarded and finding treasures and doing these things. So I just want to make like, what sort of things do you give your parties? Let me know below. But thank you all for watching. If you guys want to talk to me or, just like ask any questions outside of YouTube, I'm also on Twitter/X at Anthony Lafusi. I'll post the link below. And I also do a weekly podcast called We Have Issues. You can see the, link. It's all about making comic books and like being a weirdo and, we talk about monsters and cryptids and D&D and all sorts of things. Check that out if you want, like to hear more non-D&D stories from me. Otherwise, I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this and joining me and, helping me with all of my random questions and not ridiculing me too much. But if you do, I get it. I get it. But anyway, until next time, I'll let you know how this session went. But thank you so much for watching.